Well, let's see. We got about 17 of us. For those of you that are new here, this is being recorded and you can have it at it probably by the end of the day. Uh, I just clip off some little pieces here and there so that we have access to all the stuff. Does anybody ever go back and watch this? I don't. I don't know if it is help. I mean, it's a great tool, but I'm just curious as to if it's and if so, how helpful? Well, we are going to start. There we go. John Lyman. I'm the guy second from the left. As you see, to the left of me is our director, Katie Chalice, who is here on camera in the chat as well. And Nicole Sanchez, who travels the state with me, evangelizing the great student data privacy work that is being done in the state by you folks. Melissa, who works internally with us on a lot of our data governance stuff in the agency because we have lots of data. Jeremy helps her and you protect a lot of that data. And Nicole is what makes this engine run. So, welcome. We are happy to have you. So here's what we're going to cover today. Quick reminders and calendar highlights, compliance report in the rearview mirror, some new guidance from the U.S. Department of Ed, privacy in the news, what it might mean for us, or just things to be aware of as somebody who may interact with youth at some point. And then an open floor for any questions, comments, or updates from you. So what we have here are our calendar highlights. This month, as you can see, we are just going through the privacy compliance reports and the resubmission period. We've got legislative session on the horizon. As you can see, January, that begins right after the inauguration on this Monday. And then a lot of us will be, and I think that this needs to be kind of scooted back. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here, a lot of us will be in Bryce Canyon. If you're going to go to Bryce Canyon, let us know. Also, if anybody has a link for registration for that, then I would love for you to drop that in the chat as well. I know that Jason put that out on the listservs today. And then we've got that legislative season, 45 days. We've got that holiday right there in the middle. And then we've got it right there finishing at the end of March. And then, oh my goodness, we've got March or the beginning of March, excuse me. And at the end of March, for those of you that may or may not know, there is a fantastic conference that occurs annually. It is a leadership group. I can't tell you exactly what because the conference of school networking. I think it's school networking. I don't know what the C or the O stands for yet. But Rick Gaisford from our agency has been a big part of this organization. There are different chapters across the nation. The one that I attended last year with Jason from Murray is often at these events. It was in Miami. It was lovely. I will digress. It was a great conference as well. It was so well run, people from all over the country at all different levels of work. And it's not necessarily just a privacy thing. Privacy is, a part of it and it is baked in. But I would really like for some of you to keep an eye on that. I will be in Seattle in March and April. We did not get our webinar or our presentation that we had proposed for this conference approved. However, for those of you that may or may not have attended the webinar that Jeremy Zabriskie from our team was a part of last Monday with the Future of Privacy Forum and the Student Data Privacy Consortium, which was about data minimization. And I believe that if you were not able to see that, we will be able to get a video of that out to you when it is available. But I would like to say, and I should go back here, this same week, right here, is when we are looking to, with the help of Matt Winters from our agency, with the help of these folks in Washington, D.C. and in Boston, we are going to have another webinar either on the 21st or 22nd about AI and privacy. And what it will have is three of the product representatives from School AI, Magic School, and Skillstruck. And they will be with Matt Winters, Jim Siegel from the Future of Privacy Forum. And we will be discussing the processes for which AI vendors should be or have gone through um, these thought exercises over the course of the last essentially 2 years. Um, and so that is something that we're really excited about. And I'm actually secretly really the most excited about a development that occurred yesterday, and I'm allowed to mention it, I believe, is that the person that has taken the baton from me to coordinate this event is SDPC's brand new director of privacy, a man that I like to call Agent FERPA, but the rest of you like to call David Soleil. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is amazing news. David Soleil, our former chief privacy officer of the Utah State Board of Education, left and went to FPF. And now David is the director of privacy at SDPC, which only means that Utah has a stronger presence in this national space as far as what kind of needs need to be met, what kind of things do we need to talk about in regards to exhibit H's and vetting. And as we move into a new agreement, as we move into a new registry, it's a really, really exciting to have some of these thought leaders a part of it. So for those of you that don't know, he's the gentleman that is in a lot of our videos, sitting at the desk all across the state of Utah, synonymous with privacy in Utah and a lot of those training videos. So that's a really exciting thing for us. Privacy conference. It was so fun to get out and see all of you folks. It really makes us wish that we had access to the jet a little bit more than we do, just because it's so fun to see you guys. We're actually trying to get a helicopter in this next legislative session, so if you can help out with that, that would be great. And we can visit you. Cash, Bernal, so easy. Severe, you're really great friends of ours. Severe actually helped out do, and I wanted to mention this is an You Serve Utah. If there's anybody out there that is participating in the You Serve Utah program, that is a new volunteer program with the state. That exhibit was approved this morning. So that's something worth jumping onto. What we have here is our privacy conference. We recorded all of these with the help of our internal good friend, Jerry Record. Hopefully those of you that were able to participate in the virtual portion of this felt that it was valuable. If you have any comments, reflections about the conference, please put those in the chat. Locations, is it better to, I mean, should we do something in Salt Lake City proper? Is there something of value with the virtual? I don't know, throw stuff up against, get us a helicopter. But all of that is there for you and it is linkable. Oh, cool. Uh, oh, cool. Somebody's here trying to solicit to me. And I have a no soliciting thing on my door. Talk about privacy. Okay, so these are the newly approved products that are in the registry. We've got some big ones in here, as you can see. Oh, there's the You Serve Utah down there at the bottom. Pearson has been, Rosetta Stone is one that we got some access to. I know that a lot of folks had been talking about Bottle a lot. Padlet is a name that I recognize. So these are all available with your Exhibit E function. So jump on that. That is a bunch of products that are available. A lot of you, Iron, are really good at putting these through. Cash, So I really appreciate that. You have made my job of reviewing these really fun. So thank you. Reminders, it is the end of the year. A lot of these agreements are going to kind of expire. Because that means that, a good portion of these exhibitees, that first round, when it came out in 2019, that gave us until about 2022 for that lifespan. And then we are going from 22 to now 25 for that second round of a lifespan, kind of like a grant life cycle, I guess would be like the second round or so of like traditionally where you would see these agreements. And a lot of them are expiring. And so, like I say, as we're going into our new registry, I would like for us to move into the new home with new furniture and leave all of our old furniture back at the stable. Let's see what we've got here. Oh yeah, there was some of those inactive agreements that are out there. A lot of them. Please go through your registry. Make sure that the agreements that you have in there that are maybe inactive, whether or not are you still using them, or maybe they are listed as expiring in 201 years from now. That's right, 201. Yeah. Well, 22, essentially. But it would be really helpful if we could spend some time post compliance check, just, you know, rummaging through and seeing how your registry looks. I don't know. Okay, so we've got some big news that was shared to our team through Matt Winters, and a reminder from Superintendent Dixon. The U.S. Department of Ed's Office for Civil Rights released new guidance called Avoiding the Discriminatory Use of Artificial Intelligence. Schools are increasingly using AI tools, and while they can do a lot of good, they also come with risks, especially around discrimination. The take here, make sure the tools you're using align with those civil rights laws. And if you're navigating it, let us know. Essentially, it's a lot of the topics that Nicole and I and Jeremy have used as we jump around the state, talking about the biases that come into AI from the people that create it, um, and just different aspects of an individual's civil rights that may or may not come into question as we continue to increase the usage of these products and this technology in our day-to-day lives. And as you can see, a lot of these are the same kind of topics that we're always cognizant of when it comes to the youth that we work with. So this is a reminder for those of us out there just to make sure that we are honoring some of these and pointing out some of these biases in this digital literacy. Also, if any of you out there know of great resources for third out of house, maybe organizations locally or nationally that are really good at providing youth with some digital literacy, please put those in the chat as your endorsement, not mine. That would be very helpful. I know that some folks out there are turning to the students and wanting to make sure that they are literate in this space. And so if you have resources, that would be very helpful for our friends that are in the chat. So we, Future of Privacy Forum, uh, we are really interested in what these folks have to say in a lot of ways because of their work in privacy nationally and internationally, but and with some of our connections locally and just some of the work and how attuned they've been to Utah's growth over the last 5 to 7 years. Uh, FPF is one of the few advocates out there in privacy land that does focus on education. There are other organizations, IAPP. There's a lot of privacy information and news out there, but when it comes to education, these are some of the folks that really pay close attention. And so I'm going to pass along some information to you that they have passed on to me through their newsletter. And you can, on any one of these slides, click on their logo and subscribe to their newsletter. There's some useful stuff, as I said, if you work with youth or have some that live in your house and eat all of your food. So what we've got here is, Apple is testing a new feature where kids can report explicit photos directly through iMessage. It's part of a larger push for online safety features. It looks like Instagram is making all teen accounts private by default, letting users reset their algorithms. I wish I could do that, reset my algorithm. It's cool, but it's not perfect. Side note, about 2 weeks ago, I left all Meta products. It took about a week for them to give me access to download my data. After 17 years, I had amassed about 35 gigabytes of data that I downloaded and stored somewhere. And then it was kind of difficult to find out how to delete my stuff. And then I believe I'm under the impression that after I'm um, in holding for a month, then they will delete it with sometime soon after that. And so this is an interesting process for me to be able to share with you about something as far as working with a big data company and our data and the value that our data has and how we share it. I shared with the team earlier today, actually, that the FBI, and actually, can one of you folks drop that in the chat if you feel like it's worth sharing? Has suggested that nobody should use text messaging unless it's on like super like Signal or and then there was like iPhone, Android, etc. But these are things that we need to become more cognizant of outside of our day-to-day rules with kids. Um, this is something that plagues my home. And if you have any advice, I will take it. But Roblox, actually, as a parent, I was given a lot more capacity to lock down my kids' account, which has been fantastic. We've gone from 15 hours on a Saturday to 1.5 max. But as you can see here, a lot of the concern with Roblox and with a lot of some of the other things that we've looked at, like Scratch, is the online chat space. And so with those apps, you're going to want to make sure that those chat capacities are limited at best. Smartwatches, my kid had a Gab watch, couldn't really do very much with it. But smartwatches are pretty interesting. Smart glasses continue to raise questions. I don't even know, has anybody like I didn't even think about this until I was smart glasses in the classroom. I know it like is that something that's happened? I'm maybe in a college class, but this is an interesting thought exercises. I would say, like, on one hand, it's a great way for their parents to be connected with the kids, and then on the other hand, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. At first, when I learned about this technology years and years ago when it was Google Glass, I thought it was really cool. And then the more you think about it, the more it's terrifying. Oh, has anybody been contacted by groups that are maybe interested in this? Mental health and companionship chatbots. If you have been, my personal ick factor would be let's go slow. I have noticed actually, and maybe some of you have, that on the new Google Pixel 9 commercials, it's essentially just basically saying ditch your friends and just talk to your phone. It's going to be your best friend. It knows you better than anybody else does, and it's always there to talk to you. So that's an interesting concept. But as you can see bolded here, we have a couple of different platforms that have been doing this, and I will have you read the bottom point about some of the risks unintended, or and there's probably a little bit more detail to that situation at that link. But cognizant. I can say anecdotally 100% I have friends that are on the autism spectrum, and they can tell me I get texts often where they're like, this has been so revolutionary, life-changing for me to kind of understand how information comes into me, how I process that information, and how then I can speak what I need to say in a way that is understood by the world. Um, it's pretty powerful, but I think it's another one of those double-edged swords that has a very sharp line to it. So we're just making you cognizant that these things are out there, and maybe to add to some of that digital literacy conversation that we've been having. AI in schools, uh, like we've said, growing concern around bias and security risks. Within the last, what is this, the last year or so, a 9%, I think it's within the last year, a 9% increase in concern about data privacy and security. And actually, I don't know if you folks can echo this, but since the summit, we have, our team has been exponentially uh, busy in the sense of in-person presentations around this. And I say it and it sounds maybe silly, but data privacy fits great in the Trojan horse of artificial intelligence. Everybody wants to have access to AI. But once you get into the data privacy pieces of that, then that just opens up this whole other data privacy piece that maybe they hadn't necessarily considered. And through that AI lens, it's very helpful. So I believe that narrative has helped a lot of the folks and stakeholders out there really get a connection to privacy and AI and those risks. And it looks like, I mean, we could probably survey our own users. And I know that DTL has some actually really great stats. I'm not necessarily sure about concerns, but probably something similar to where, like, the greater the awareness, the more heightened we are about the consequences. Um, so something to be cognizant of as well as we're looking into professional development and talking to those users. Uh, as we can see here, a 50% increase in teachers saying that they have received at least one training session on AI. This is a great opportunity for me to plug the fact that we have been asked to go out there and visit you. And the agency is making it easier for us to do that through some of the travel and purchasing augmentations that are happening. So some of the things that may or may not have been hurdles in the past may be a little bit easier to overcome coming into the new year. But I will say that teachers, we've been asked to speak with some middle schoolers and high schoolers, an audience that we've actually never worked with, which is, a really cool opportunity for us to think through. So, as we're taking a look at this, I'm interested in how your staff are looking at professional development, from like a big district down to all of your many, schools that you oversee to that, one or two room, not two room, but, the one building charter school. Yes, yes, our big presentation lately, and we could probably link to that too. I think I have it linked in here actually somewhere, is to the AI Summit presentation that Nicole and I have bounced around and given to. Andrew, you're is in the chat. We went, I think he was one of the first folks that we actually went up and visited and met with all of their district principals, I believe. Cyber school incident reporting. CISA, the Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, cybersecurity, rather, proposed rule in March requiring state agencies and schools with over 999 students, more than half of all districts nationwide, to report cyber attacks, including ransomware. This was proposed. They have some information where they've taken a little bit of a dive into it. So take a look at that when you get a moment. And at 3:26 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, these are all the ways that you can stay in touch with us. I will now open the floor to all of you lovely folks. This is where I'll be putting this video and subsequently the summary of this video that will talk mainly about shampoo and a little bit about data privacy and AI. Oh yeah, we don't have a, is that for the AI summit, the recording of that? Yeah, we don't have a recording of that. Anybody got anything that they'd like to chime in with? Otherwise, you know, the time is yours. Yeah, the link to the slides, Donovan, is down here in the corner. I'm gonna move my mouse. 33VN6BE4.
Sorry to be that guy to keep us on here, but Jeremy, you mentioned that you were trying to get a class link for using that as our metadata dictionary access and stuff. We're in the process of getting set up with ClassLink, and I'd like to just convert our metadata dictionary over to that and get a fresh start. Any updates on that or guidance on that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. That actually reminds me to look through my email really quickly. So give me just a moment because I did reach out to all of them, but I can't remember who got back to me. Oh, okay. So ClassLink did get back to me. So I haven't done that yet, but with with your urging me, I will. So I will get back to you.
Okay, because I mentioned I've been meeting with a guy that's been helping us set it up, and I mentioned that he pointed us at a contact that I can't remember, but I can I've got her name. I can look it up, and if that would be helpful, or if you've already got what you need.
Yeah, I reached out to all of them, and most of them said that they would be fine setting up a demo account for me. There was one that wouldn't, and but ClassLink was one that would. So yeah, I just need to go through that process with them. So thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your help in doing that to help us.
Are there a lot of folks switching over to ClassLink or beginning or switching into ClassLink? That sounds to be more ubiquitous. I'm not sure. I believe
It's free on a state contract.
yeah. I think that's why there's been a lot of jostling, is because that has changed with the
Yeah, so it's if you participate in the DTL grant.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And if you selected it as your product. So, like, you can't use both Learn Platform and ClassLink, for example. You need to choose one.
Can you guys hear the airplanes coming over my head? Oh, goodness. Hopefully it turns into December where you are for a little bit, but just a little bit. And then the snow can go away and we can all just go into 2025 with smiling faces, happy hearts, and privacy on our minds. Or not, I don't know. If you guys have any questions, you know how to find us, privacy@schools.utah.gov. We have our listserv, K12 or privacy K12. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.